Behind the Scene with David Bedian, May 31st, 2020. As we begin the broadcast today through a Swedish studio coming actually through Jerusalem, we cannot avoid looking at the lead item on the international press today, which is that Sweden leads the world in per capita deaths from the coronavirus. We see this as a tragedy because this is something that can be avoided. I haven't sat next to anybody, even in synagogue or even on a bus, for the last 3 months. Even now that things have more or less opened up in Israel, people are being very strict. And although I'm right now in my home, when I'm outside, I'm always wearing a mask. And this is something that it's really a shame that people have neglected this in Sweden, and it's causing unnecessary deaths. And let's hope that the people in Sweden will change their way of operating, even if the government isn't getting on every other minute saying, please put your mask on, please be careful. Okay, you have to have more self-discipline because every life is precious. Every life is created in the image of God. So that's my first moment I want to mention, first issue I want to mention. Now let's go to the peace process of what's happening here. On July 1st, there's an expectation that the first step in the peace to prosperity process, also known as the Trump plan, will be implemented. Most people have paid attention to the territorial aspects of the plan, that Israel may annex or Israel may withdraw, whatever, from areas that it holds in Judea, Samaria. However, most people haven't read the plan. There are two specific conditions for that plan. One, which everyone should pay attention to. And you can see the plan on our website. You dial Peace to Prosperity on our website, or you look for U.S. Plan for Palestinian State on our website. You'll find it. IsraelBehindTheNews.com. It's publicly posted for everyone to see. Now, there's two specific conditions which have nothing to do with territory or withdrawal or with annexation. One, on page 8, Palestinian leaders must embrace peace by recognizing Israel as a Jewish state, rejecting terrorism in all its forms, allowing for special arrangements that address Israel's and the region's vital security needs, building effective institutions, and choosing pragmatic solutions. If these steps are taken and the criteria set forth in the vision are satisfied, then the United States will support the establishment of a Palestinian state. Under the unconditional recognition of the PLO, that Presidents Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush, and Obama rendered the Palestine Liberation Organization, unlike those conditions, which were basically unilateral, this new plan requires the PLO, the Palestine Liberation Organization, to prove its commitment to the war on terror and recognition of Israel as a Jewish state, as the absolute conditions for U.S. recognition of a Palestinian state. On page 34, conditions for a Palestinian state are clearly stated. The Palestinians have ended all programs, including school curricula and textbooks that serve to incite or promote hatred or antagonism towards its neighbors, or which compensate or incentivize criminal or violent activity. In other words, the United States government, which is the sponsor of this peace plan, has committed itself and will to facilitate the creation of a Palestinian state only after they've eliminated indoctrination to war from their school curriculum and until they repeal the unprecedented PLO ordinance, the law, which provides an automatic incentive, money, for anyone who will murder a Jew. That money also goes for the family of the man who did the murder. Over the past 20 years, ever since the Palestinian Authority began to issue its own school books, our think tank has examined all 364 Palestinian school books and all 109 Palestinian teachers' manuals used in all PA and UNRWA schools. They read like more war manuals. Most recently, and this is like in a sense to make sure that the PLO wants to make sure that everybody knows what's really going on. They have introduced a new school book, which is unbelievable, which actually shows a woman who murdered 38 people on a bus when she commandeered a bus with a terror gang, and they present her as a role model for all children. And the other thing that they do is that they have special songs in one of the books calling for children to sing songs and recite poems about the extermination of the Jews. And they've gone a step further. What's that step further? They've issued a new clip of children singing songs of murdering Jews, issued by the PLO, Palestine Liberation Organization, Department of Education. And we're going to have that on our website tomorrow night, along with, that's June 1st, 2020, along with a new updated report on Palestinian Authority education, which is also used in all the UNRWA schools, United Nations Relief and Works Agency schools, and education, which indoctrinates the next generation to murder Jews. So let's not talk about territory. Let's not talk about annexation. Let's not talk about withdrawals. Let's talk about one thing. These two specific criteria for carrying out a peace process and establishing a peace in the Middle East. And I repeat them. Number one, an end to the curriculum, which praises murder. And number two, an end to the incitement, the incentive for anyone who will murder a Jew. This is unprecedented. I've asked 4 experts in Nazi Germany if they ever had such a law. They didn't. And last but not least, today, May 31st, is the day that we're telecasting this program, is the day that Adolf Eichmann, the Nazi murderer, the Nazi architect of murder, was hanged in Jerusalem, actually hanged in Ramallah, but he was tried in Jerusalem. And he always said in his defense, he was only following orders. Well, the difference between Eichmann and Abu Mazen is that Abu Mazen, the head of the Palestinian Authority and the Palestine Liberation Organization, he gives the orders to give incentives to murder Jews. He gives the orders to create such a school system. The only criteria in Israel for executing someone is if they advocate genocide. Well, will Abu Mazen be next? All the news that's fit to print. This is David Bedian reporting. IsraelBehindTheNews.com, Behind the Scene with David Bedian. Thank you.
The new U.S. peace plan for the Middle East demands an end to incitement and violence.
And the president did something unique. He recognized basically the conditions on the ground, recognized reality, that in order for these two groups to live in peace, there's going to have to be some give and take here. And one of those pieces of the give is to understand you cannot continue down the road of indoctrination if there's going to be any peace in the region. That just makes sense. And so that's what the president wants to ensure happens to protect the people of Israel.
72 years after the Arab-Israeli War, 5 million descendants of Arab refugees from 1948 still dwell in the squalor of 59 refugee camps. The camps are run by UNRWA, the United Nations Relief and Works Agency. The residents are indoctrinated with the notion that they have the right to return to villages that existed before 1948. This is a core principle of the PLO, the Palestine Liberation Organization.
لازم نقاومهم ونرجع أراضينا.
نرجع على أراضينا المحتلة في 48 اللد وعكا ويافا والآخر.
حق العودة إنه نرجع بلادنا زي ما شردونا الاحتلال بقوة من أرضنا، فلازم إحنا نطلعهم زي ما طلعونا بقوة.
لن ندخل عن حق العودة ولن نرضى بأي وطن بديل وبأي عاصمة غير القدس الشريف. سنعود إلى ديارنا.
لكن نيجي بنقعدهم إنه أنت إيش بلدك إيش بلدك إيش بلدك. الأطفال اللي بتعرفوا على كذا بلد، مش أنا بس القدس، لا أنا إذا أنا وطني فلسطين في كذا مدينة. يعني في بصير انتماء أكثر للطفل. يعني بصير الأطفال هنا يعني إحنا ما بيخلي يعني حتى الآن صار الولد عند الطفل أو البنت إنه صارت كتير متشوقة ترجع لبلدها الأصلي.
أنا بشوف كل ما يمر يوم على النكبة وعلى التهجير كل ما اقترب موعد العودة إن شاء الله. العودة والتعويض ولا بديل ولا بديل ولا بديل.
ثقافة حق العودة أكيد نركز عليها كثيرا، وأكيد هذا هو جزء لا يتجزأ من ثقافة مناهجنا الدراسية. نعطيهم نوصل هاي المعلومات لطلابنا في مدارسنا عن طريق مواد التربية المدنية والتربية الوطنية.
السلام عليكم. بدي أسألكم من وين أنتوا أصلكم؟ من أي بلد؟ وبعدين بنحكي عن النكبة شوي. تفضل. من أي بلد؟
من فلسطين.
من حيفا، من يافا.
احنا من حيفا.
من حيفا.
من يافا. من قضا يافا بيت دجن.
بيت دجن.
يافا قضا يافا. راجع بلادي راجع بلادي على أرض الأقصى راجع بلادي أنا ولادي أنا ولادي على أرض الأقصى راجع بلادي يا محلى القعدة يا محلى القعدة في حكورتنا يا محلى القعدة ما بنسى وعدة ما بنسى وعدة نرجع أرضنا وما بنسى وعدة.
Because of the antithetical culture of UNRWA, Arab refugees remain in the camps. UNRWA provides health, education, and health services. At the same time, it promotes an ideology that perpetuates war, encouraging residents to remain in their homes until they can conquer Israel and create a new country of Palestine. For decades, the United States was the lead donor to UNRWA, paying for about half its $1.2 billion budget. The U.S. stopped funding UNRWA last year after it determined that American tax dollars had been used to prolong the suffering of yet another generation of refugees. Within UNRWA schools, peace is never discussed. Instead, war is taught daily in prose and in songs.
لا مش حيصير بين احنا واسرائيل لانه شردونا وقتلونا.
انه الاحتلال يعرف انه احنا انه هاي الارض النا ومش الهم انه يعني هاي مش ارض بلا شعب هاي ارض عليها شعب فلسطين. فيش سلام بيننا وبين اسرائيل لانه بخربوا حقوق الفلسطينيه انهم يرجعوا لبلادهم. اكيد لا لانه احنا لا بنعرفهم ولا هم بيعرفونا.
مش راح يكون سلام بينه وبين اسرائيل لانه اسرائيل هي عدوتنا.
وانا بحب ارجع على كفر قاسم غصبا عن اليهود وانتصر على اليهود. هم مجموعه من الكفار والناصره ولا بيحبوا الله ولا بيعبدوا الله وبكرهونا.
نحن الثورة والغضب نحن من الأجيال من هون من عنا انكتب تاريخ الأبطال. نحن الثورة والغضب نحن من الأجيال من هون من عنا انكتب تاريخ الأبطال.
ولما أم الختيارة صبح نادت عالجارة وتلاجا الحجارة تنرشك عالدورية تنرشك عالدورية.
ميل عصافة حول عالظهرية لا التوحيد نسلم على حرها لا تنسى الناس بأرض العربية.
فلسطين الناس نبيحها بضلهم عنا فلسطين الحرة هنرجع بلادنا لازم نهجم عليهم.
قول إن شاء الله سنة ورح نحررها. لازم نحررهم عشان نرجع أرضنا.
لازم نقاومهم ونرجع أرضنا اللي أخذوها منا. هاي لما طلعونا منها بالقوة إحنا لازم نطلعهم من بلادها بالقوة وغصب عنهم رح يطلعوا. مش رح تضل فلسطين إسرائيل في فلسطين لأنه فلسطين مش للبيع والقدس مش للبيع رح تضلها إلنا. القدس عاصمة فلسطين الأبدية.
نحاربهم ونقاومهم يعني بأكتر إشي بنقدر نعمله.
في القرآن الكريم مكتوب إنه زوال إسرائيل راح يتم على يد الفلسطينيين.
At UNRWA schools, education is not limited to texts and is not confined to the classroom. Inside schoolyards, students pass by violent graffiti that glorifies killers. One of the Palestinian heroes is Dalal Mughrabi, whose image adorns alleyways near UNRWA schools and neighborhoods. In 1978, she led a terror gang that commandeered a bus and murdered 38 passengers, including 13 children. On the paths of UNRWA camps, children speak about Mughrabi with awe and reverence.
صور شهداء سووا عمليات لأجل الوطن. يعني دلال المغربي سوت عملية تفجير وفجرت حالها عند الجيش.
يعني زي أختي وأمي بنت بلدي.
دلال المغربي هي شهيدة فلسطينية فجرت اليهود وهجرتهم.
دلال المغرب أول شهيدة فلسطينية فجرت من الجيش الإسرائيلي، يعني سوت عملية استشهادية.
UNRWA schools portray Mughrabi as a role model. In its current curriculum, Mughrabi's photo appears in a study book for third graders. It is a key lesson in Our Beautiful Language, a new textbook issued in 2019. On page 63, pupils learn to chant the Land of the Nobles. The assignment calls for kids to liberate Palestine and to exterminate the current residents of Israel, the Jews. Here they chant the song in the classroom. Their lethal melodies do not resonate just in the classroom. Here, a teacher leads the same war song during a field trip as children prepare for the liberation of Palestine with toy guns.
وأزيل الغاصب من بلدي وأبيد فلول الغرباء يا بلد الأقصى والحرم يا مهد النخوة والكرم صبرا صبرا فالنصر لنا والفجر يطل من الظلم قسما سأضحي بدمائي لأروي أرض الكرماء لأروي أرض الكرماء
When we visited UNRWA schools, we found students eager to deny the existence of Israel or any Jewish connection to the land.
طب إيش تعلمت عن إسرائيل؟
إنهم كلاب بأخذوا أرضنا. فيش دولة اسمها إسرائيل. محتلة فلسطين. وفيش بعدين إشي اسمه إسرائيل.
هل ممكن الإسرائيليين يضلوا هون في فلسطين؟
لا، بنهجرهم من هون. تعلمنا إنه إحنا لازم ما نخليش أرضنا لحد بنعرفهمش، ولازم ما نسكتش عن حق. فيش شيء اسمه إسرائيل لأنه إحنا اسمها دولة إسرائيل. إحنا بس فلسطين إلنا. مستقبل القدس إن شاء الله راح تكون إلنا. أكيد على أكيد وفيش شيء لا إسرائيل ولا شيء اسمه إسرائيل.
Given America's new insistence that Palestinians eliminate incitement and violence, perhaps more UNRWA donor countries will ask why they allow millions to live as refugees in perpetuity.